Hello, mathematical literacy learners. Welcome to Income Tax Lesson 2. So this time we're going to look at what is income tax and who collects it and what other names are used for it. Okay, so here we go. Income tax is defined as a compulsory payment to the state. So it is compulsory, which is deducted from person or business earnings for the state to provide services to its citizens. So the money is collected by the government from people and businesses in order to take care of the state. We are, of course, focusing on income tax and, to be specific, personal income tax. So we're going to look at employees. So who is collecting tax? In South Africa, we have what we call SARS, commonly known as SARS. You should know this by now, coming from grade 11, but if you don't, it's okay. We're going to learn everything here. So SARS collects tax, and SARS is an acronym for South African Revenue. Very important that you say revenue and not reserve. Revenue Services, right? And SARS, income tax, is also known as pay as you earn. So you pay for earning. Remember, we said gross income is total amount of all individuals' income before deductions. Now, in this income, there are amounts of money that may not be taxable. So we have to exclude such amounts of money when we are calculating for tax. So we have to do something to the gross income, change it to become taxable income before we calculate for tax. So what is, we call these non-taxable deductions. One specific thing that I want to point out is that pension fund is one of these amounts, right? So pension fund is not part of the amount that is used to calculate tax. So we deduct pension fund. Okay, so I'm not going to mention other amounts that we deduct until we come across them in questions. But pension fund, keep in mind, pension fund is a very clear one for the syllabus. Okay, so taxable income. Now, taxable income is the income we're going to use to calculate. Well, wait a minute. I get gross income and I get net pay. What do you mean taxable income? Okay, so like I said before, your gross income minus the non-taxable income will give you taxable income. So you got to minus the non-taxable incomes first before you can calculate for tax. You see that step? Very important there. So in questions, you don't have to worry, how do I know? No, in questions, it will be very clear. You will see. So we're going to take a closer look at one tax deductible income that we're supposed to minus before we calculate for tax, which is pension fund. Like I said, we're going to focus more on pension fund than anything else, but yes, there are others. Government employees have GPF, while private sectors has a provident fund, right? So when it comes to pension, South African employees call their pension fund GPF. It's actually an institution that takes care of the pension fund. It's government employment pension fund. And then the private sector has they call their pension fund a provident fund. Before we move on, I'd like to send a special thanks to the people and the organization that compiled the Maths Literacy Self-Study Guide Booklet 1A Finance. Very helpful. Thank you. Okay, so let's take an example that I pulled out from a question paper. where we look closer at a gross income and taxable income, and also, using the 7.5% and all of that. So let's look at this example. Now, this is an example, but if you want to try it out yourself first before seeing the answer, I'm okay with that. You can do that. Okay, so Emily earns a monthly gross salary of 26,904 rands and 22 cents. She pays 7.5% of her gross salary towards her pension fund. In South Africa, taxable income is gross income minus payment towards a pension. So this one, they make it clear that in order to find taxable income, you have to say gross income minus pension fund, especially since it's the only thing you're going to minus here. So the question says, calculate Emily's annual taxable income. The first thing I'm going to do before I calculate pension is I'm going to change per month to annual, right? So I'm going to say I'm changing 26,904 rand and 22 cents to annual now, okay? From monthly to annual. And how do I do that? Remember, a year has 12 months. So if I want to take 1 month and turn it into 12 months, I have to multiply it by 12. So this amount, so annual gross income is equal to 26,904 rands and 22 cents when I multiply it by 12. So that gives us 322,850 rands and 64 cents, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and calculate my pension, which is deductible, so that I can get taxable income, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do next is calculate the pension by saying pension, annual pension. I know it's going to be annual pension because I'm going to use annual income, right? Is equal to 322,850 rand and 64 cents. So this is annual gross income multiplied by 7.5%. So I have videos here that show you how I do the percentages and all of that. So if you don't understand my method, I do have videos where I explain the method step by step. Okay, so what I do for my grade 10s, because they're not used to calculating percentages, is I show them, because they always forget the 100 there by percentage. I say write it out so that you don't forget it. If you write it, it's there, you're not going to forget it. A comma, multiplied by 7.5% is also 7.5 divided by 100. You see, now I won't forget the 100. In fact, I'm going to start with the 100. I'm going to say, write this first and say 322,000. Sounds silly, but in the end, it's that level 7 stuff. Multiplied by, okay, let's see, let's move a little bit there. Okay, so that's 7.5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say 7.5 why is it dark? I don't understand why the calculator is dark. Okay, 7.5 divided by 100, and I get 0.075. So this is actually 0.075. And then now I can multiply the two easily, right? So now let's multiply. I just say multiply by 322,850.64, and then I get 24213.798. Of course, you have to round that up, and you get what you get. I'm not a fan of rounding off, because some people round off to 2 decimals, some people, but because this is money, I'm going to go ahead and round it up. 24213.80. We should have a lesson on rounding, you know? I think I should do that at some point. I am going to do a lesson on numbers and functions and all that stuff, so don't need to worry about that. Anyway, so we know now how much pension she's paying for a year, Sally. Now we need to know the amount that is going to be used to calculate her tax. So what is the income that is going to be used? It's called taxable income. Remember, it's taxable. That means you can calculate tax on it. Just like when you are lovable, it means you are lovable. Okay, so that was hard. So 322,850.64 minus, I am very good at making mistakes, so pay attention. All right, so that would be, so now we're going to get to so there we go, 298,636 rands and 84 cents is going to be our taxable income. Now, you can pause the video to do the little test, and answers available in the end. Goodbye.